Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So this is kind of a quick one. So a lot of people throw things out really quick. Like they're really quick to say, sorry, my internet's blinking and annoying me. They're really quick to say something has lost all of its purpose and all of its value and all of its, whatever. So I am not one to darn socks. I have no idea how to darn socks. And I am super sock picky. Like the seam has to line up right, and I have to be able to wiggle my toes just right and everything. And every so often I'll like find a sock that works, and then I just buy that brand and everything of socks until it no longer works, and then I have to switch because it has to be right around the ankles and the toes and everything. Like I am really, really sock picky. So, that said though, even though I'm super sock picky, I don't know if you can see this. Like I can deal with like a little hole in the right area. Or in like the back of the sock. However, like some people, like they'll have a hole like right there. I could not do that, right? So everybody's different. And I feel like the holes on like the bottom of the feet, not only do they feel funny, but then you're like getting stink on like your shoes. But um, socks nobody sees. And here's the other thing I did. So you remember how I said like I used to have like a different kind of sock? Well, I did like these no-show socks because I couldn't find socks like I don't know, all the ankles felt funny until I found these. And so what I would do is if one sock wore out, I would just like flip flop them as long as I had one left sock and one right sock. If you know, you know. So if like my gray sock wore out on the right and my purple sock wore out on the left, since you couldn't see the socks in general, I would just match the gray and the purple to get extra uses out of them. Sounds crazy, but I do tend to, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't buy like the most expensive socks, but I used to wear the Vans men's no show socks, and it had to be the men's because what the heck? Like, the men's socks were like all soft and cushy, not the women's. Seriously, if you are ever near a Vans store, go in and look at the no show socks and feel the women's versus the men's. It is ridiculous. Why do men get comfier socks? Why do they get more cushion? I don't get it. It doesn't matter. Or it doesn't make sense. Like why? So I would get the men's small and it worked out great. But we all have like those little items. So for me, socks, I'm super picky about. And honestly, I don't know if these will make it past another wearing, which is why I'm doing this video right now before I even go shower. Because um I may very well wash these socks and then the next time I go and put them on, they may be like the hole may be too bad because like I wiggle my toes a lot in my shoes. I have to be able to, and I guess it's a semi-common thing. Like I like a wide toe box because I have to be able to wiggle my toes, especially my big toe. My kid's the same way. If I can't, like I can't wear those shoes. Like it really bothers me. So I like to be able to, wiggle my toes in my shoes. I'm not a pointy toed girl. Like, the pointy heels. Like, I never got that. Like, why? Ouch. So a lot of the time you can get some more uses out of something. Obviously, at some point, things have reached their max use. So then you can't repair it, you can't fix it. Now that there's spandex in jeans, I found a lot of them like and I know a lot of people they'll go in the inner thigh if they're wrong or trying to think what else. Zippers. I have a lot of issues with zippers. I had this one pair of pants where the zipper would either get stuck in the up position or constantly fall down. Like there was no happy medium with this pair of jeans. Like I would go to pee and I wouldn't be able to get the zipper down. And then I would be walking through the store and the zipper would just decide that it was time to go down. I don't know what was up with it. So obviously, there's some things you can't work around. But what can you work around? For me, a lot of things about socks are non-negotiable, and I can tell the way this hole is in my left toe that this is probably going to be the last wearing. I kind of had a feeling when I put them on today that it's so much so that I brought an extra pair of socks just in case I didn't make it through because they got weird. But you know, my kid, on the other hand, I'll look over and like, what is wrong with your socks? It's like, there's a gaping hole in the bottom. He's like, I don't know. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe he's my kid. Like, my kid has more socks than any human being needs. I think my kid has like 50 pairs of socks probably at that point. I think we're down to like 20 or 30 at this point because like, he just like would be like, I need socks. I need socks. I'm like, what are you doing with all of your socks? Yeah, he just didn't want to wash his socks. So then we ended up finding them and washing them. I was like, are you kidding me? Stinking teenagers. So yeah, so at one point he had like 50 pairs of socks. And then, you know, like we were traveling and he forgot to pack socks. So then I had to get him like more crew socks and more ankle socks because we were in like a warmer climate. But yeah, so so he's got a ton of socks. But there's different things, like some things that you can actually continue to use even though like it's got a minor defect. And then obviously at some point you hit like the can't use it anymore. Now these are mainly wool. I think they're like 95% wool, merino wool, which shocks me because like I have always hated wool because it's itchy, though I could do lamb's wool. And I could do Angora, which is technically a wool, but you know, like sheep's wool when you think of wool. But I can wear these. So now when I wash them, because I won't be able to wear them again, what I'll do is I can use them to stain and then I won't be upset about throwing it out. I have an issue with like using socks and underwear as rags to clean because like, I don't know, it's kind of psychological. And I get it, like back in the day, people did it all the time. Like they used old socks and underwear to clean, but I feel like cleaning a kitchen counter, no matter if you've bleached the underwear, I mean, the underwear aren't wearable anymore, and you're gonna clean your kitchen counter with them like that. I can't do, but I can stain things with them, like stain wood, like because I do woodworking. So try and get the maximum amount of life out of each item and eke by to the very last end. So that's today's tip for frugal living, is see how much further you can stretch your items before you have to toss them in the trash. Plus it's better for the environment. Yay, it's like a win-win. You know, you save money and it's better for the environment. Maybe this is definitely more in like the environmentally friendly end of me, but honestly, all of the socks in this batch, I did have to buy new socks, and we're at almost a year mark, so 11 months. And then they started to get like the little holes in them, but I don't know. So the ones that I wear more frequently, because like there were definitely colors I wore more often, started to get the little holes and have to be thrown out or moved into the staining bin. But today's tip for frugal living: eke out every last little bit you can out of your stuff before you toss it away. Anyways, again, my name is Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.